The sun is setting, and that means it's gonna get dark soon, which also means I'm not gonna be able to see where I'm going while driving this car. And that's because the factory headlights on these Elantras are, well, how can I put this in a nice way? Garbage. They are terrible. Not only do the lenses, well, as you can see, the housings themselves have condensation in them when they shouldn't, but the bulb itself is just a regular incandescent bulb. This headlight assembly is like the same quality you would get out of something you would buy off eBay. It is really bad for a factory piece. Even though it's bad, it can be made a whole lot better very easily, simply by replacing the factory bulb with an LED replacement. So I went to my buddies at Auxito. I got myself a set of LED replacement headlights for this car. By simply using these, I should drastically increase my visibility at night easily. So in this video, that's what I'm gonna do. Swap out the factory incandescent bulbs with these LED style lights from Auxito, and I'm also going to switch out some interior bulbs that are also some ugly incandescents and replace them with Auxito LEDs to see how much of a difference it makes in just overall aesthetics and visibility at night. Before we install these, I think it's only fair that we get a comparison of the stock bulb's performance, and then after we put these in, we'll compare the difference. So let's go ahead and see how these factory bulbs perform at night. Spoiler alert, not very good. So as I pull the car up here, you can see that, yeah, it's not very bright, and the orange light just isn't very clear. It projects pretty far, but it's just hard to see. Flashing the high beams out to the end of the road helps a little bit, but not as good as it should be. This definitely needs to be better. And for another quick comparison inside the vehicle, yeah, all these lights suck. Yeah, is it emitting light? Sure. It's not that much. It is very dim in here. When using all these interior lights certainly helps. It's just not as good as it could be. There's definitely an improvement that can be made here. And the tag lights here will also be switched out for LED, so I just wanted to get a bit of before, which you can see it's just not that bright. Firstly, we're going to change out the headlight bulbs, fit my fat hand back in here, pull out the factory Sylvania bulb, switch out to our nice Auxito bulb. These are really nice. Aluminum housing, little fan on the end there just to keep things nice and cool. So moving on to the interior lights, we're going to start with the dome light here, and look at this thing. This thing was a bit of a pain, but I figured out you have to do a bit more disassembling to get to the actual bulb. Once you do that, easy squeezy, pop the Auxito in place, put it back together, and voila. Now on to the front overhead lights, using a little plastic pry tool here. Pull the stock bulb out, throw our Auxito LED replacement in place, put it back together, and it couldn't be easier than that. Now this next bulb, I totally forgot to get a before video of it, but I can tell you it was barely useful. It's the vanity light bulb, and after popping it out from the headliner, pull the old bulb out, put another Auxito bulb in, and just like that, I have useful light. Now to another area of the car where I completely forgot to get video showing the factory bulb, but if you've paid attention so far, you'll know that the light in the trunk is worthless. So I slapped another Auxito bulb in place, and that should make a huge difference. Now on to our final set of lights, and that is the tag lights. Popping the old housings out here and removing the factory bulb, sticking our Auxito bulb back in place, easy squeezy, pop it all back in, and now the car is complete. Now let's check out the difference all these Auxito lights make. What you can see here before and after, left is the stock bulb, right is the Auxito LED headlights, and man, they make a huge difference. Not only does it project further, it projects wider, and the light directly in front of the car is brighter, and it's a much more clear light, so seeing small details in the road is a lot easier. So moving on to the interior, and wow, I think these lights made the biggest difference. I could see everything so clearly. It was awesome. You can actually see what you're doing now. So can everyone else if they happen to look through the windows. And the tag lights are at least twice as bright and definitely clearer. The trunk light is actually useful. I popped the trunk. I see the trunk. And one of the best things about these headlights is they're obviously brighter than the stock incandescent bulbs, but because they are LED, they draw a lot less current, which means you get a brighter light that pulls the same amount of current as the stock incandescent bulbs. These bulbs actually draw 1 watt more than the factory incandescent bulb, and because of that, you don't need what's referred to as a CAN bus adapter. Essentially, if you put headlights on modern cars that draw too much current, it can wig out the car's internal monitoring system and freak it out. You have to get something what's called a CAN bus adapter, which is really probably nothing more than a resistor that keeps the internal monitoring system happy, but allowing you to actually have a higher output light. So in many vehicles, if you choose a higher output bulb, you got to use one of them CAN bus adapters, which is just more expensive because higher output bulbs are more money, and then you got to get 2 CAN bus adapters for each headlight, and it gets really expensive really quick. And that's why I think this particular bulb is just the best, because it's still a much brighter than stock light that looks a hell of a lot better, that doesn't need a CAN bus adapter, and it's cheaper from the get-go. So it's just like the best possible plug-and-play upgrade, at least for this car. Auxito makes lights for practically everything, so I'm sure your vehicle will be on the list if you need headlights. So far, I am really happy with these lights for both inside and outside the car. It just makes a big difference in just the overall illumination, visibility of this vehicle at night. Though I'm an affiliate of auxito, I did actually spend my personal money on these lights because I just like their products from when they first offered me free promotional products. It's a brand I personally like, therefore I am comfortable with promoting their products. I think they make an excellent product. It's very affordable and it just works. I've actually had all of these lights in the car for over 2 weeks since putting them in, and no problems, nothing. They all work beautifully, no flickering, nothing. It's exactly how you want things to work. And nothing could make me more happy than that. So with that said, if you want to pick up your own headlights or interior lights or whatever the case may be, if you want to switch out factory incandescent bulbs with LED, be sure to check out auxito first. I got links in the description. And when you do place an order for your auxito lights, use my code KARZ. Save yourself 15% on checkout. And that way you ain't gotta roll around with some nasty, ugly, yellow looking, crappy, incandescent light bulbs on your modern vehicle because the manufacturer just wanted to cheap out. And you can get yourself some awesome looking LED lights for your car. But that's gonna wrap it up here for the video. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, share with everyone you know. If you want to see more content like this and you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Keep a lookout for next Karz Created video.